Hello, everybody. This is Girlheart speaking, and welcome back to Chapter 1, Part 2 of Menzoberranzan. So we found out that Dinian is planning some attacks on a rival house. There seems to be a big war is about to happen. So let's just go ahead and get this started. Then he retrieved his mount and sped off down the empty corridors, finding an intersecting route that would take him in through a different entrance to the city proper. He came in along the eastern end of the Great Cavern, Menzoberranzan's produced section, where no drow families would see that he had been outside the city limits. There were only a few unremarkable stalagmite pillars rose up from the flat stone. Dinian spurred his mount along the banks of the garden, the city's small pond with its moist-covered island that housed a fair-sized herd of cattle-like creatures called Ra. 100 goblins and orcs looked up from their herding and fishing duties to mark the drow soldiers' swift passage. Knowing their restrictions as slaves, they took care not to look Dinian in the eye. Dinian would have paid them no heed anyway. He was too consumed by the urgency of the moment. He kicked his lizard to even greater speeds when he again was on the flat and covered avenues between the glowing drow castles. He moved toward the south-central region of the city, toward the grove of giant mushrooms that marked the section of the finest houses in Menzoberranzan. He came around one blind turn. He nearly ran over a group of 4 wandering bugbears. The giant hairy goblin things paused a moment to consider the drow, then moved slowly but purposefully out of his way. The bugbears recognized him as a member of House Durnan. Dinian knew he was a noble, a son of a high priestess, and his surname Durnan was the name of his house. Out of 20,000 dark elves in Menzoberranzan, only 1,000 or so was nobles. Actually, the children of the 67 recognized families of the city. The rest were common soldiers. Bugbears were not stupid creatures. They knew a noble from a commoner, and though drow elves did not carry their family insignia in plain view, the pointed and tail cut of Dinian's stark white hair and the distinctive pattern of purple and red lines in his black parfait told them one of who he was. The mission's urgency pressed upon Dinian, but he could not ignore the bugbear's slight. How fast would they have scrambled away if he had been a member of House Dinrare or one of the other 7 ruling houses, he wondered. You will learn respect of House Dinrare soon enough, the dark elf whispered under his breath as he turned and charged his lizard at the group. The bugbear broke into a run, turning down an alley strewing with stones and debris. Dinian found his satisfaction by calling on the innate powers of his race. He summoned a globe of darkness, impervious to both introvision and normal sight. In the fleeing creature's path, he supposed that it was unwise to call such intention to himself, but a moment later, he heard crashing and spattering curses as the bugbear stumbled blindly over the stones. He felt it was worth the risk. His anger saddened, He moved off again, picking a more careful route through the heat shadows. As a member of the 10th house of the city, Dinian could go as he pleased within the giant cavern without question. But Mentor Malice had made it clear that no one connected to House Durnian was to be caught anywhere near the Mushroom Grove. Mentor Malice, Dinian's mother, was not to be crossed, but it was only a rule after all. In Menzoberranzan, one rule took precedence over all the petty others: don't get caught. At the Mushroom Grove southern end, the impetuous Drow found what he was looking for: a cluster of 5 huge floor-to-ceiling pillars that were hollowed into a network of chambers and connected with metal and stone parapets and bridges. Red glowing gargoyles, the standard of the house, glared down from 100 arches like silent sanctuaries. This was House Denvir, 4th house of Menzoberranzan. A stockade of tall mushrooms ringed the place, every 5th one as a shrieker, a sentient fungus named and favored as guardians. For the shrill cries of alarm and imminent whenever a living being passed by. Dinian kept a cautious distance, not wanting to set off one of the shriekers, and knowing also that other, more deadly ward protected the fortress. Mentor Malice was see to those. An exponent hush permeated the air of the city section. It was general knowledge throughout Menzoberranzan that Matron Jemfad of House Denvir had fallen out of favor with Lolov, the Spider Queen, deity to all Drow, and the true source of every house strength. Such circumstances were never openly discussed among the Drow, but everyone who knew fully expected that some family lord in the city perjury soon will strike out against the crippled House Denvir. Matron Jennifer and her family had been the last to learn of the Spider Queen's displeasure. Ever was that Lawler's devious way, and Dinian could tell just by scanning the outside of House Denvir that the doomed family had not found sufficient time to erect proper defenses. Denvir spotted nearly 400 soldiers, many females, but those that Dinian could now see at their pulses along the parapets seemed nervous and unsure. Dinian's smile spread even wider when he thought of his own house, which grew in power daily under the cunning guidance of Matron Malice, with all 3 of his sisters rapidly approaching the status of High Priestess, his brother an accomplished wizard, and his uncle Zagnafian, the finest weapons master in all of Menzoberranzan, busily training the 300 soldiers. House Durnian was a complete force, and Matron Malice, unlike Jennifer, was in the Spider Queen's full favor. Darmian Nashi's Bezran, Dinian muttered under his breath, using the formal and astronomical reference to House Durnian, 9th house of Menzoberranzan. He liked the sound of it. Okay, you guys, that was the end of chapter 1, part 2. Please educate me, how does a Drow priestess fall out of favor with Lada, the Spider Queen? I mean, I may not know the entire lore of D&D, but please be sure to help me out with that. Thank you guys so much for listening to the audiobook. Please be sure to like, comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel. And also, I love you all. Stay golden. Take care.